Alright, so in this section we are going to be talking about how to qualify for business funding. So, why is this important? This is public knowledge. Business funding for entry-level businesses, what I'm going to be helping each and every one of you get, is business credit cards. So, the reason these are so popular is there's no interest on these credit cards for the first entire year. So, for investors like me in Airbnb arbitrage, that allows me to get in, invest that money right away, and make my return on investment within a year, so I never have to pay any interest, and I leverage the bank's money to create a cash flowing business. I still have all of that cash left to spend, and I built an amazing relationship with that bank to get more lending in the future. So that's the main reason why business credit cards are so popular, and because of the payback structure. So you only have to pay back 1% to 2% at some banks on your total limit as your minimum monthly payment. So if you have a $50,000 balance, most banks will be a $500 payment as your minimum monthly payment. And I imagine if you invest $50,000 correctly, you will have more than enough to compensate that back. So it allows entry-level businesses to get in, create a foundation without too much stress on their end. But ultimately, it's doing what every millionaire has ever done, is leveraging the bank's money to make more money. Nobody has 50,000 laying around, or everybody would have been done this already. So now, to get into requirements on business funding, there's two things that you need to be able to qualify to get business credit cards. Number one, an open LLC. So you need to have an open LLC registered and active with an EIN number and business bank accounts in your state. That is the number one requirement. Number two, you need a 680 or higher personal credit score. Now, most people think it's all about just the score right here, but it's actually not. The important thing when it comes to not only qualifying for business funding, but for really anything else, is how your report is structured. So, after you create the business, after you create the LLC, the thing you guys need to invest in the most is your personal credit score. Now, you cannot have any derogatory marks on your credits, such as collections, excessive inquiries, repos, charged off accounts, closed credit cards, bankruptcies, all of this stuff. You cannot have any derogatory marks on your credit at all, or it will be an automatic decline. So your credit has to be clean. If someone is watching this and your credit is not clean, either reach out to me for help or do your own research, or whatever the case may be. Just invest to get your credit fixed. And I advise doing it by professional and not doing it yourself unless you do tons and tons of proper research, just leveraging the laws. So be very careful how you do that, but one way or another, you need to invest in your personal credit score and get it cleaned up if it isn't already, and then you can get to the point where you can start building on your credit score. So the difference between someone with a 680 plus personal credit score and someone with a 700 credit score that has a structured report is you can be 18 years old, 19 years old, and you can have a 750 plus personal credit score. But most of the time you only have one or two accounts open. You cannot take that credit score to the bank and get funded on a $50,000 credit line with just one account open. And the reason why is you have no credibility. Credit is all about, think of it like this, being able to borrow money and pay it back on time in a reasonable manner. That's all credit is about, is credibility. So these banks want to see before they give you a large amount of money is, are you credible enough to pay them their money back? Now, that's where a seasoned report is going to come into play. So, third requirement, you need to have 4 to 5 primary accounts open minimum. Now, what I mean by primary accounts is bank issued accounts such as Chase, Amex, Wells Fargo, Navy Federal, all of these different national banks. Those are what's going to look the best on paper. And what lenders want to see is not only for business funding, again, for auto loans, home loans, everything, all of the above. What they want to see is primary accounts such as institutions and stuff. Because think of it like this: put yourself in the bank's shoes. Would you lend someone $50,000 that has one account open with maybe Marshalls or Best Buy and all these other credit cards, or would you lend to someone that has 4 to 5 primary accounts from Chase, Amex, Navy Federal, from all these national banks and they have good payment history with them, of course they're going to go with the bank that has all of these accounts open. And the reason why is because they're credible. So building a relationship with other primary banks, national banks, are going to be huge in structuring your credit report. So that's number one. Now, I recommend to some of my students, especially younger students, to download things such as trade lines or credit builders. And here's two that I have used personally in the past: Self and Kickoff. Both of these are great. I think combined you might pay 40 to 45 bucks a month for both of their subscriptions. But basically what these are credit builders that you will add on your account and they will boost your score over time. Now, what I want most people to notate right here is anytime you add a new account on your credit, your score is going to drop because you're adding a new account and it's decreasing your average age of credit history. So you will take a small impactful hit when you add any new account, not even just a credit builder. It doesn't matter what you add. You will take a small hit, but these are actually going to boost your score over time. So essentially you pay both of these companies a yearly subscription fee. You'll pay them monthly. And what they're going to do is they're going to report that you have a $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 personal loan that you were paying on. And they also backdate the age history. So over time, it's going to show that you paid off a $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 loan, but in reality, you only paid a 20-month subscription. So definitely recommend to the younger audience that's watching this, as they will help over time. Next requirement is you need to have under 20% utilization. Now this means you cannot have all of your credit cards maxed out. So for example, if you have $1,000 limit on a credit card, you need to have your utilization under $200, which means your balance on that credit card should not be higher than $200. Now, when I say utilization, I mean across all of accounts. So if you go on Experian, it will tell you your general utilization. It'll usually be the first thing you see. It'll say credit usage, and it'll show you your general utilization, which is across all of your open accounts. So you need to have low balances on all your cards nonetheless, and no derogatories, no late payments, anything like that. But truth be told, that is all you need, guys. You don't need anything special. You don't need any tax documents, income statements. You don't even need a down deposit. You need absolutely nothing except the open LLC and the 680 plus personal credit score with your profile meeting these requirements. Now, once your profile meets all of these requirements, the only thing in between you and funding is opening a couple business bank accounts, and you're good to go. So, this is a lot of free game right here, not only for business funding, but this will apply for anything you go to apply for in the future, whether it's a car, house, personal loan, whatever it may be. If your report is structured accordingly, you will be able to get approved for almost anything. So that wraps up pretty much how to pre-qualify yourself for business funding. Once you meet all these requirements, and some of you watching this may already meet these requirements, shoot me a DM. We'll set up a time, and I will onboard you in the process on how to get funded with me without having to pay any down deposits, income statements, nothing needed except these requirements here. So DM me if you guys have questions. On to the next video.